Dear students, let us continue our discussion on green chemistry. The origin of green chemistry. The idea of green chemistry was initially developed as a response to the Pollution Prevention Act 1990 of the US National Policy. It emphasized the need for the cost-effective changes in products, processes, use of raw materials and recycling instead of treatment and disposal. From 1991 onwards, US Environmental Protection Agency launched a research program to encourage redesign of existing chemical products and processes to reduce impacts on human health and environment. This initiative drew attention of both academic and industrial researchers, and thus the concept of green chemistry got a remarkable attention. Here we are discussing how this concept, the concept of green chemistry, got an international and remarkable attention. The idea of green chemistry was initially developed as a response to the Pollution Prevention Act 1990 of the US National Policy. So it emphasized the need for the cost-effective changes in products, processes, and the use of raw materials and recycling instead of treatment and disposal. Anyhow, this idea got a greater momentum, and at present green chemistry is having great significance in the field of, say, industry, particularly in the field of pharmaceutical industry. In the mid of 1990s, a number of international meetings devoted to green chemistry, such as Garden Research Conference on Green Chemistry, and thus a number of such conferences were organized in various parts of the world. These conferences could bring out the need of new techniques and methods in industrial fields to minimize the uses of natural resources and to control the environmental impacts of chemical industries. It is stressed on the need of recycling and reuse of many of the materials instead of disposing them to the environment. The use of minimum chemicals was promoted so as to minimize the environmental effects due to pollution. The new concept, green chemistry, gained a greater momentum, leading towards a clean and green environment and sustainable development. The basic concept of green chemistry is to minimize the uses of natural resources and to control the environmental impacts of chemical industries. Green chemistry stresses on the need of recycling and reuse of many of the materials instead of disposing them to the environment. Actually, green chemistry gives importance to environment and human health. 12 principles of green chemistry. The 12 principles of green chemistry were published in 1998, providing the new field with a clear set of guidelines for further development. And in 1999, the Royal Society of Chemistry launched its journal Green Chemistry. Chemists and chemical engineers applying green chemistry look at the entire life cycle of a product or processes from the origin of the materials used for manufacturing to the ultimate fate of the materials until the use or application of the material is completed. By adopting such an approach, scientists have been able to reduce the impacts of harmful chemicals in the environment. So here the main point or the major concept is the chemists and the chemical engineers Applying green chemistry, look at the entire life cycle of a product or processes from the origin of the materials used for manufacturing to the ultimate fate of the materials until the use or application of the material is completed. That means we are giving importance to environment. So the harmful chemicals or the disposal of the harmful chemicals to the environment should be controlled. Now we can discuss the 12 principles of green chemistry. We can see one by one. Number 1. It is better to prevent waste than to treat or clean up waste after it is formed. 2. Synthetic methods should be designed to maximize the incorporation of all materials used in the processes into the final product. That is, the reactants should be converted to the products. Maximum reactants should be changed to products. Third one, wherever applicable, less hazardous chemical synthesis should be designed to use and generate substances that possesses little or no toxicity to human health and the environment. 4. Chemical products should be designed to preserve efficiency of function while reducing toxicity. In other words, toxicity should be minimized directly by molecular design. So by changing the molecular design, say the toxicity can be minimized. 5. The use of auxiliary substances, example solvents, separation agents, etc., should be minimized wherever possible and should be harmless if used. 6. Energy requirements should be recognized for their environmental and economic impacts and should be minimized. Synthetic methods should be conducted at ambient temperature and pressure. 7. The use of chemicals from renewable sources, for example plant-based, should be used wherever possible rather than other equivalent chemicals from petrochemical sources. We know that the chemicals from petrochemical sources are depleting and hence we have to find out new sources, particularly renewable sources. 8. Reduce derivatives, unnecessary derivatization, that is blocking group, protection, deprotection, etc., and temporary modification of physical chemical processes should be avoided whenever possible. I repeat, we have to reduce the derivatives in a chemical reaction. Unnecessary derivatization, that is blocking group, protection, deprotection, and temporary modification of physical chemical processes, etc., should be avoided whenever possible. 9. Choose catalysts that increase selectivity, minimize waste, and reduce reaction time and energy demands. 10. Chemical products should be designed so that at the end of their function they do not persist in the environment and break down into innocuous degradation products. Innocuous means harmless. 11. Analytical methodologies need to be further developed to allow for real-time in-process monitoring and control prior to the formation of hazardous substances. 12. Substances and the form of a substance used in a chemical process should be chosen so as to minimize the potential for chemical accidents, including releases, explosions, and fires. Now the 12 principles of green chemistry are put in a nutshell. So the 12 principles of green chemistry: first, propounded by Natus and Warner are the widely accepted set of criteria for assessing the greenness or environmental acceptability of processes for the manufacture of chemical products. Now you can see all the 12 principles are briefly discussed here, or they are put in a nutshell. You can see green chemistry, atom economy. Atom economy means the reactants should be converted to products. The maximum reactants should be converted to products. Then waste reduction, that is waste should be reduced to maximum, say the amount of the waste or should be avoided. Then benign by design, that is the molecular design should be done so that the processes or the procedure should be more simple and say reduced toxicity, fewer ancillaries, then energy efficiency, renewable feedstocks, then catalytic efficiency, quality control and safety control. Now the essence of the 12 principles of green chemistry can be easily remembered. So now here they are put in a nutshell: productively. You just remember the word productively. And let us see what is productively. P stands for prevent waste, R renewable materials, O omit hazardous chemical synthesis, D degradable chemical products, U use of safe synthetic methods, C catalytic reagents, T temperature and pressure should be ambient, I in processes monitoring, V very few auxiliary substances, E factor, that is maximize feed in product, L low toxicity of chemical products, and Y yes it is safe. So you can easily remember the 12 principles of green chemistry by a single word: productively. That is all in this particular session, and the assignment is that you write notes on the basic principles of green chemistry, and the last date for submitting the assignment is November 25, 2020. Thank you.